Oh My Dog with Jack D and Sean Walsh.
Coming up on today's show, Chris Packham tells us about vegan diets for dogs. Seann tells us about how he's going to stop Mildred from barking in the garden first thing in the morning. And I will be giving you a brief history of pavements. But first... Hi, Seann.
Hi, Jack.
Yeah, you all right?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Yeah.
How's Dolly?
She's all right. We took her to have to the groomers yesterday to see Lucy, and actually she was slightly better behaved with Lucy, and it was okay. She didn't need the muzzle to get her nails clipped. She was yeah. She has this, what her left front paw is the one that she doesn't like having touched. So she let her rear paws be clipped, and then her right paw, and it was all going well and all very calm, and she's like in Jane's arms and letting it being done. And then Lucy grabbed the left paw. She went, no, not that one. So it all went wrong. Up until then it was perfect, but she eventually allowed it to be done, and she takes her out the back and someone else holds on to her so that it's not too personal, and she just goes quiet. She knows, as Lucy explained, once they've had a muzzle on just once, they kind of know the game's up, and they think, all right, you win,
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah.
And it's so funny because, as I say practically every week, she doesn't like walking, but she'll walk out of that. She'll walk out of the groomers very, very nattily. Straight down the street as far away she can get,
That's very sweet.
I know.
Do you reckon she's calmed down a bit because she's gotten used to it? She knows that it's okay. It's going to be okay.
100%. Absolutely. Look, it was us being slightly overprotective dog owners, as to say the least, and you tend to kind of project your personality onto a dog that perhaps the detail of which perhaps doesn't need to be there. She's just a little bit anxious about it, and we took it. But anyway, when we made the connection and actually sort of made that step and let the groomer just take her out the back and do her nails, it took about 4 minutes, literally, and it was done. And she's, she benefits very much from having her nails done, her claws done, because she's not heavy enough when she does walk on the pavement for them to file down. Most dogs, they naturally file down their own claws. They don't need it doing.
How do they do that? Oh, walking on
pavements.
Just walking on pavements.
Yeah.
Which means that before pavements, it would have just been mud, which wouldn't have filed the nails.
I don't know if it was just mud when they didn't have pavements. It's an interesting question, though.
Rocks.
What happened? What came first, roads or pavements?
Oh.
So, because it wouldn't have been a pavement if it was just a pavement. You don't call you call it a path. And
yeah.
So then you have a road, you put a road in, don't you? And then you think, hang on, we've painted ourselves out of this picture. We, as pedestrians, we need something to walk on. And that's when pavements came in around 1900, Sean. But anyway,
this is a little plug for our new sister pod of Oh My Dog on pavements. Oh My Pavement. We'll be updating you on pavements.
But when you say something like that, you left me dangling. I had to wing it and get us out of that.
You improvised. It was great.
Good job.
No, you did a really good job. It's spot on.
But roads go back to Roman times, don't they? So they only thought of pavements.
Well, as we know, the Romans, they're famous for their very straight roads, weren't they?
Yes.
I don't know when bends were invented in roads. When
what?
When bends. Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't. They
didn't have corners back then. They never had corners.
No. But you're right though. The pavement would have come after the roads because it wasn't cars. People weren't keeping. We've got to be careful. There's a car coming. Get on the pavement.
That's it. It was obviously it was an afterthought in many cases. They're just thinking, we need a pavement. We need something to walk on that isn't the road. And ideally, we would have built the road wider so that we could accommodate the pavement, but we didn't. So anyway.
History according to Jack Nee.
Yeah.
I like this show.
You know.
Oh, how roads came to be. Yes, so that's lovely, Dolly. And what about Juniper? Sarah, how's Juniper?
She's fine. I have to tell you about this little incident that was a freak accident that happened the other day. My hairdresser came round for the first time to do my hair at home, and she was doing Delphine's hair as well. And it was lunchtime, so I just made a bowl of soup for Theo, and I was taking it out of the kitchen.
Was he ill?
No, he wasn't ill. He just wanted to stay. You know, well, your kids are too young, but they get to the point where they just want to stay out of sight if anybody comes round.
Oh, yes,
So,
absolutely. Yeah. That's me.
Some people never grow out of it.
Yeah.
So I'm carrying this soup, and it was just warm. It wasn't boiling hot, thank God, because Delphine went down to sort of pet Juniper, and I said to her, "Be careful." She stood up, and the soup exploded all over the place. Like, it was in the hallway, it had gone down walls, it was over door frames, it was literally everywhere. I could not believe this river of tomato soup. It was like a scene from Carrie. It was a total nightmare, and I was just like, oh my God. And Juniper got the splashback, so she got some soup on her. And I was so overwhelmed with this scene that I was like, it's going to take me an hour to clean this up. And then I looked at her, so I'm cleaning up, and I looked at her, and she had soup on her, and she's licking it. I was like, oh no! So I had to quickly wash her, and she was fine. There was, absolutely fine, nothing to worry about. But from that moment, my hairdresser Georgina said to me, "Oh, do you know that tomato is good for if your dog ever rolled in fox poo?"
Oh.
And I said, "Oh, really?" She said, "Yeah, if you use tomato ketchup." So out of this horrific scene came a dog fact. I don't know, you could try it if anybody's dog likes to roll in fox poo.
Yeah, who's going to put ketchup on their dog though? Come on.
That's a hot dog.
It is with Juniper, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, but I saw my friend Michaela yesterday, and Daisy had just done that.
Oh, yes.
And she said she'd been washing her. She'd washed her 3 times, cannot get rid of the smell. I said, well, look, just found this out. Tried tomato ketchup. So I haven't heard back from her yet, but I'll let you know.
She'll probably never speak to you again.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that. My dog's now pink. Interesting. We want to hear from Michaela. I want to find out what happened.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
And is that Daisy, the basset hound?
The basset, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So if anyone else has had this, anyone else has found their dog has rolled in fox mess, and then you've tried to sort it out by covering your dog in ketchup and putting it in a bread roll, then please do get in touch. let us know how that worked out for you.
It's funny though, out of an accident like that. It sounds like, how much soup did you make though? If it was like...
I know it was actually quite a small bowl, but once it's everywhere,
yes, it goes.
It was insane.
Oh no.
There you go. Oh, sorry, Mildred, give me a sec. Mildred's trying to get out of the room.
Okay, we can blame her.
I know.
Trying to get out of this.
Hang on, what are you doing?
Can't hear this anymore.
What are you barking? There's someone at the door. There we go. There's someone at the door.
Oh, is there? Okay. Did someone? Did Grace answer it? Or is she there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. She's been learning off Juniper.
Yeah. Picking up tips. Have a go at it. Yeah.
So when I was away, I was on tour and I was away one evening. Grace got in touch to say that a neighbour. So we let Mildred out. We discussed this before about the times that you let your dog out, and Mildred is allowed out after 8 a.m. because she barks.
Yeah.
We thought that was a kind of reasonable
That's acceptable.
time.
Yeah.
Maybe we're wrong about that, but that's the decision we made. And but someone came round when I was away. A neighbour came round and knocked on the door and said, "Listen, I work nights.
Oh.
So do you mind?" And they weren't angry. They were polite.
Yeah.
And but it's very embarrassing because you don't want to be the neighbours that
No.
that are causing a racket. So I've kind of spoken on here before about working out how to stop Mildred from barking, and going out with her on the lead in the garden. It absolutely works, but we don't want to have to walk her with the lead into the garden every time we want to let her out. So it's serious this time.
Right.
This is serious. Watch this space. We have a through storyline now, of me trying to get Mildred to absolutely stop barking.
Okay.
in the garden.
What's your first method? What are you going to do?
What did Grace say? Oh God! Wait there.
Oh no. What?
Just invite Grace in.
It can't have been that complicated. Why have you forgotten already what she said?
What are you doing?
We should maybe get Simon back soon and
Yes.
see if he's got some light to shed on this, because he hasn't been on some time, has he?
Yeah, let's get him back.
Yeah.
It's big.
Mm.
Right. Okay. So this just in. Breaking news. No. So what? So if she barks now, she gets put in timeout. She gets put in the bathroom.
I see. Okay.
And then when she sits, when she obeys the command, she gets a treat. So barking means carried to bathroom, and then told to sit, then given a treat.
Okay.
There we go.
And is that a tried and tested method? Is that a recommended method by someone? Or
I have absolutely no idea.
The flaw in that I can foresee
I know. Yeah.
that there's a treat at the end of it. So Mildred might think, if I bark, I go in the bathroom and they bring me a treat. So I will bark when I go out in the garden.
Yeah. I'll pass on your notes.
I don't want to be the smart ass in this, but I think that might be what happens.
No, yeah, you might be.
I was just saying.
We'll see, though.
Yeah, we should ask Simon as well what he reckons you should do.
Yes. I was actually thinking of getting Simon asking Simon to come down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
To really go through it.
Oh, that'd
with
be brilliant.
Me.
Yeah.
I think you should definitely do that.
Me, because it does have to stop. It's mad. The barking it would drive the neighbours
We could
insane.
do it, and maybe we could film it.
We could film it, and whilst we're doing it, Jack, you can sort out the.
Seann is always after some DIY from me. I don't know why.
Yes.
I'm not.
Yes. Anyway, so yes. So there we go. So we'll see how that goes.
Yes.
With
Good
Mildred.
luck.
But you were saying
follow
about the
that story.
nails. You were saying about the nails and Dolly knowing that that it's going to be okay at the end, so she's kind of gotten used to it. But it's the exact same with Mildred. Mildred now has gone from a dog that I couldn't hold her. She would jump out of my arms, even if I was stood up. She would jump out because she didn't want the drops in her ear. And now nothing, doesn't even move. Wow. Doesn't even bother to move. I just lift up her ear and she's like, oh yeah, it's that thing. Everything's fine in about 2 seconds. Yeah, crack on.
That's great. She's kind of learnt and it's okay. And,
yes.
Yeah. So how long is she on the drops for? Is it forever now, or is it just a regular thing that she's
until this
it's gone.
Yeah, until this gone. This tub.
Okay.
Yes. Today's guest is the brilliant Chris Packham, wildlife broadcaster, conservationist and long-time champion of the natural world. You'll know him from shows like Springwatch, where he spent years helping people understand animals and the environments they live in. He's also a dog lover, and he's going to talk to us about vegan diets for his 2 poodles, Sid and Nancy.
Hello, Chris.
Oh, wow.
Hi,
Hello, Chris.
Good morning. Good morning.
Amazing. Good morning.
Thank you very much for joining us.
That's right.
Are you in your garden, or are you just out
Yeah,
in
in
the
the
wild?
garden, yeah.
Oh, lovely.
I'm just going to get a dog. I thought it might be useful to have one. There's a
That would
couple
be
here
really
somewhere.
nice, yeah.
Nancy, come on. Come here.
So you've got Sid and Nancy there, your 2 poodles.
Yeah, they prefer the sunshine. Give me a sec.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Fair enough. Chris is standing in shade and there's some sunshine at the back of the garden, so he's obviously, the dogs have wisely gone for the sunshine.
So our first walk off.
Yeah.
Chris Packham took a look at us and went, "Not for me. I'm going to go get some sun."
Yes.
I wasn't expecting him to be outside. Were you?
No, that was
Brilliant.
when you think about it, it's obvious, isn't it? He would be. So I'm
Our very
impressed
own
that he's.
Springwatch.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh.
Come on.
So, beautiful. So this is Sid, is it?
No, this is Nancy.
Oh, that's Nancy.
Nancy.
Okay. Were you a Sex Pistols fan? And that's hence the name.
Funny enough, I was.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and they, my previous 2 poodles, Itchy and Scratchy, who behave like the eponymous characters from The Simpsons.
Yes. Brilliant.
Set the template
Wonderful.
for these 2, so the names are apt.
Yeah.
They're badly behaved.
What is it about poodles that you love so much?
Well, are there other breeds?
Oh.
My mother bought a poodle in 1980. I'd never shown any interest in domesticated animals prior to that. I'd always been into, foxes and badgers and all those sorts of things.
Yeah.
And she came in on one afternoon and put this, a tiny ball of fluff in front of the carpet, and I fell in love with poodles, and I've had poodles ever since. So.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
I mean, they're loyal, they're headstrong, they're very characterful, they're smart, of course.
They're very bright dogs,
and I haven't got a Hoover.
Because you don't need to. They don't molt, do they? This is a thing.
And those sticky roller things that people use, I've seen them. Other people using them to sort of mop their clothes of an enormous quantity of hair. I don't know one of those either.
So because I was interested to know about your childhood. I've heard you talk about. I sort of imagine you as the kid in the film Kes. Is that what you were really like? You're running around and just fascinated by.
Yeah, from a very early age. Before I could speak, my parents say, I was crawling around our small garden picking up slugs and snails and ladybirds and putting tadpoles in jam jars and things like that. By the time I got to school, I was, at 5, I was already completely obsessed at that point with bats and otters and dinosaurs, of course.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was an undiagnosed autistic youngster in the 1960s. I spent a lot of time on my own out in the woods and the fields, looking for those things that fascinated me, but also finding some sort of respite and solace from the trials and tribulations of home and school, really. But I mean, that essential training. I mean, it was a freedom that young people very sadly don't have now. Because I'm not bragging. Because it would be typical of people of my generation who are into it, but there's not a single British bird's egg or nest that I couldn't identify because of that time spent outside looking at all of that stuff. And that I think would be very different with young naturalists today who don't have that freedom to explore.
To go out there, yeah. So you found a way of creating order in a world that you very much needed to do that for. Is that right? Through nature?
Yeah, well, I guess when I was out there on my own, I was just normal. I wasn't feeling different because it was just me and the grass snakes and the foxes and all of that sort of stuff. But you're right. There is. I'm not overtly interested in the science of taxonomy, but taxonomy itself, recognizing patterns, putting things into groups, it's strange. Last night I was sorting out my box files, and that probably says it all, doesn't it?
It must be quite a useful condition in some ways. Get things done.
Get things done. We're all different, but I try to be ruthlessly efficient in terms of how I run things. I am a stickler for detail, and of course that's a great asset if you're into observational science, natural science. If you're looking at something and you have a capacity to record that detail and remember it, then that's a great asset. So I always Greta didn't, but people say that she said that her, autism was a superpower. I always think of mine as a gift, only sometimes when you open it, you don't get what you want.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
It well put. It can be an asset, but at other times it can be challenging.
Well, with that kind of level of analysing detail that you have, do you ever apply to your own dogs the way that you do on Springwatch, say? The way you analyse the dogs on Springwatch, do you apply that to your own dogs?
Yeah, the dogs that live under a microscope, really, because I'm really attentive to their behaviour, their moods. I learn all of those little things. Dogs like patterns as well. So, for instance, there's a ritual to pretty much all of our lives together. I think they feel secure because I reinforce that ritual. So they always know where they are. Not necessarily physically, but mentally and everything. And they like those patterns of where they get onto the bed in the evening. There's a very sort of strict pattern to it, which keeps calm. And so, that's something I'm attentive to, and therefore I can, I can make sure that they're happy. But I mean, obviously, in terms of their welfare, any little nuance, any little difference in their behaviour, where they look, where they sound or smell, is notable. I mean, they do have. I know this is going to sound odd, and people will think it's obvious, but their breath smells, whether it's, I'm not saying it stinks, I'm saying that like our breath, it has a scent. And I can generally tell what they've been up to by the scent of their breath, basically. They've got sleepy breath, they've got, runny breath. They've got, obviously, sometimes if they've been eating, in the immediate aftermath, you can smell the food. But it's interesting that food smell disappears quite quickly from a dog's scent. So those sorts of things really tuned in.
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah,
fascinating.
What's your take on domestication with dogs? How dogs are different from wolves? Really, basically, what's happened over the centuries?
Interesting. So, in my lifetime of being a science communicator, that's moved on tremendously. We used to think that dogs were domesticated in somewhere in the Middle East or in China. We subsequently learned that they were actually domesticated in Siberia about 13,000 years ago in a refugia. So Siberia wasn't the frozen wasteland that you might imagine, but there was a refugia there. We're now pretty certain that that's where they came from. Domesticated, of course, from grey wolves. But I've been lucky enough to meet hand-reared wolves, and their behaviour is very different. I mean, dogs have co-evolved with us for 33,000 years. We've lived in such a close relationship with them. They read our facial expressions. They read their owner's facial expressions slightly better than other people. They can tell the mood you're in by looking at your eyes or your mouth independently. I mean, they are just very well attuned to humans, because we're in this relationship where, it is transactional, obviously. They want something, we want something. It's sharing, but at the same time, for it to be functional, there's that transactional side of it. And so from that point of view, they have attuned their senses to being able to read us and understand us, and that's beneficial to them. So, that's one of the reasons why I loved spending my time with foxes when I was a kid, but it's a very different relationship with Sid and Nancy, because they are more closely connected to me, as it were.
Do you believe, Chris, that we love our pets? Do you believe that the dogs love us back?
Well, we proved that. So we did some tests. I did a program. We were repeating scientific tests. I'm not saying the tests that we did were of scientific validity, but we repeated them. So we took cortisol levels and serotonin levels from myself and from the dogs. This was Itchy and Scratchy. And what the science had previously shown is that if a dog is separated from humans, if it's rejoined by a human, it gets a surge of serotonin. It feels happy. If the human is its owner, it gets marginally more. So they are obviously showing a closer affinity to their owners, but they generally are reassured by seeing the owner. The other thing that's been done in a place called the Clever Dog Lab in Vienna is that they've trained dogs to sit very still in CAT scanners and MRI scanners. And they make a little basket for their heads and they teach them to lay very still. And they did this brilliant and very simple experiment. They had a dog lying in the MRI and they were looking at its brain patterns, obviously. And they offered it a sausage. And the dog was excited. And you could see its brain was fizzing because there was the sausage in front of its nose. But then its owner came in and was reassuring it, and it got an even bigger surge of brain activity. So everyone says, they're only there for the sausage in your pocket. It's not true. They're there because they have a very close, relationship with their owner. So yes, I'd say they love us. I certainly love them.
Oh, good.
Cool. Yeah, I can see. Well, we could. So, you're on record for giving Sid and Nancy a vegan diet. How does that work?
So when I had Itch and Scratch, I was feeding them. No, it's not now. I was feeding. Stop it. Right. I was feeding them what you call a sort of a fundamentally normal dog food diet, mixture of stuff. And then about halfway through their lives, I switched them onto a raw meat diet, and I saw a considerable improvement. And that would have been about 20 years ago at least.
Can I just ask, when you say improvement, what's it improving from? What do you mean?
So when I switched Itch and Scratch over, their teeth were better. Poodles suffer from a lot of tartar on their teeth, and that's always an issue. Cleaning their teeth is, one of a poodle lover's lamentable task is cleaning that tartar off the teeth. Their coats were better, their stools were better. So superficially, those sorts of things, and there were notable changes in their behaviour. And I felt that they were displaying healthier. They were certainly enjoying that raw meat, and they enjoyed some of the other stuff that I was giving them, probably because I'd cooked it for myself and not the world's greatest cook. However, in the intervening period of that 20 years, quite a lot of work has been done, scientific, peer-reviewed work, which has shown that initially that the vegan diet that dogs were put on was marginally better than the raw meat diet, but both of those were considerably better than what you might call a typical dog food diet. Yeah. That work has been subsequently repeated and reinforced and investigated more thoroughly. Publications last year from a guy called Dr. Andrew Knight and Nottingham University have set that up. Now, okay, that's fine, but I can't cook for myself, let alone my dog. So for me to be able to put together a nutritionally complete and adequate, plant-based diet for them would not have been something that would have been feasible. And had I tried to switch to that, I'd probably not been replicating all of the proteins, fats, amino acid, nutrients, vitamins, etc., that they would have needed. However, Omni have come to the fore. So this is a company put together by vets, rigorously tested in terms of the diet being formulated in a lab, not in a kitchen. And I mean, look, it doesn't matter where you get your fats, proteins, amino acids, etc., from, so long as you get them. And if they can be replicated by, a plant-based diet, then there are advantages not just to the dogs, but obviously to the planet. As we know, we have to shift away from meat and dairy because of its impacts on climate breakdown and biodiversity, and also the huge number, 6 billion farmed animals are killed every year, 6 billion to feed our pet dogs. And of course, many of those farmed animals not kept in the best of conditions. So welfare, canine health, planetary health, human health. I mean, when we were feeding raw food, we always had to be careful. You can't, obviously, once you've defrosted it, it's got a very limited shelf life. And since the switch, which we started at the beginning of January, one thing that I can say is that there's a lot less waste. I mean, sadly, the foxes aren't getting as much food as they used to get, because the plant-based food, you can put it back in the tin to a reasonable extent, and the dried food, obviously, just put back in the packet. So a lot less waste. And the key thing is, and this is really important, and they love it. I mean, it is. We struggle with Nancy. Nancy's a picky eater, another curse of the poodle. But she will now, be pushing Sid out of the way to get to the bowl, and that's really, really nice, actually. After all the troubles, so it may not suit all dogs. I just think, from my point of view, I like to move with the times, move with the science. An opportunity arose because of there was something that I could get off the shelf and be reassured that it had everything that Sid and Nancy needed. So I thought I'd give it a go. We did blood tests at the beginning, and we were about to repeat them after 90 days. I'm not sure what they're going to show. I say it's just one pair of dogs. It's not rigorous science, but Sid had very high triglycerides in his fats in his blood. And the diet that he's on now is only has a third of the amount of fat in. So hopefully they might have gone down.
Okay. And is it expense-wise, is it compatible with, other brands?
Well, yes, I think, it's compatible with raw meat. There's no question of that, because raw meat is not cheap, and it's hard to find raw meat that has come from a responsible part of the food chain. I've never really satisfied with that. But the wastage also comes into it. The wastage is a big part, because, if you defrost too much or you miss a meal, all that money is just going straight to the foxes and badgers as far as
what you buy, you tend to use, and it's not wasted.
Yeah, I'm still doing the maths on that, to be quite honest with you, and I am keeping a note of that. But at the moment, I subjectively, without having added it up, I'd say that, there was a break even, but ultimately down to wastage, the plant-based is probably going to come out on top.
And Chris, you buy this online, do you? I've not seen it in supermarkets.
You can buy it online. Yeah, there's a whole range of supplements. One of the things they really love are their dental sticks, and they go mad for those, absolutely mad. And then there's a whole range of supplements for anxiety. There's probiotics, there's multivitamins, and then there's basically a kibble which tastes a bit like Marmite. I mean, I've tried it all, I've got to tell you. You can see why they like the kibble, because it definitely has a little bit of a Marmite taste to it. And then there's a selection of tinned food, which is has sort of casserole and stew names, and I've tried all of those as well, and they're palatable, but obviously there's not as much salt in them as we would have in our food. We don't want that in food anyway. So very, very good.
We've read that they're designed for dogs with sensitivities and avoid things like chicken, soya, and grain. Why is that important?
Well, some dogs do have those allergies, and again, recent research has shown that they can be brought on by dairy and meat products, as you say, particularly chicken and dairy products. One other thing that we've noticed is that Sid always had very weepy eyes. And of course, we'd been to the vet and they'd looked for ingrowing eyelashes and so forth. And they'd said, well, it's borderline, because it wasn't. I mean, we just had to clean them every 2 or 3 days, but so we didn't have the operation. Do you know what? He's been on this food. No weepy eyes.
How strange.
The other thing, which was that one of the only problems that we've had with them health-wise, they're 6.5 now, is that at one point, Sid's claws became very weak and he shed some of his claws. And so we had to nurse him back with that. And when I took them to the groomers, one of the downsides of the poodle is that they need to be primped up every 6 weeks. She said to me, this is the first time I've ever had to cut his claws. So his claws seem to have improved. Again, I mean, look, we're not 90 days in yet. Let's see what happens. But his eyes and his claws definitely seem better. So whether that was some sort of allergy that he had to the food I was giving him, I mean, I can't say. But I'm happier now that his eyes aren't weeping and he appears to have, good, strong claws.
Yeah. What do you learn about nature by being so close to dogs who are obviously domesticated? And you are an expert on the natural world, but do you learn about the natural world through your dogs? Do you feel?
Yeah, I do. I think they display a lot of behavior. I mean, I always say, you can take the poodle out of the wolf, but you can't take the wolf out of the poodle.
Right.
Right.
And I mean, all dogs, but particularly some of the sort of the hounds, poodles, etc., they retain those sort of fundamental wild behaviours. I mean, one of the things that people will know if they walk their dogs is that sometimes they will spin round and round before they defecate. I'm sure we've all seen our dogs doing that.
Yeah.
Well, they tend to do that in places where they haven't been before. Because what we've learned is that they're spinning round because they're sensitive to the Earth's magnetic field, and essentially they're marking that spot with their feces and that particular scent. They're mapping the area. So if you take your dogs to the same place every day, then it's unlikely that they're going to spin round. But if you take them somewhere new, that's when they start that spinning behaviour, because they're building a map of their new environment. And whilst we're on feces, it's one of the things we dog owners have to deal with, pooping and scooping. Some people get very distressed because their dogs will eat other dogs' feces. And again, research has been done recently in California, which shows that they will only eat feces that are between 1 and 2 or 3 days old. So they only eat fresh feces.
Yeah.
And we wondered why this is. And we look back to the wolf, and what we find
probably because it doesn't taste very nice afterwards, That's...
There's a limit. I mean, I'll try their food, but I'll draw the line now. But what we found was it was a relic to wolf behaviour, because wolves, adults, will come back and eat all of the feces in the den area when they've got cubs that are though it's staying in the den, not straying from the den. And it's a way of reducing parasite load, because the eggs of those parasites are in the feces and they don't want their young to get them. So again,
wow.
Yeah. So that, apparently appalling behaviour, because everyone's nauseated by the fact that their dog eats other dogs' feces, that comes from the wolf, and it's about reducing parasites. So yeah, there's loads to learn about dogs.
It's a protective thing. You've answered at least 2 questions there that we've have recurred on Oh My Dog, and one was about eating of feces, and the other one was about this turning around, because we had come to the conclusion it must be some sort of urban myth that someone circulated that it's to do with facing north when they do, but it's not quite that. But it is about quite. Getting their bearings.
Yeah, getting their bearings,
marking where they are. How extraordinary! That's amazing. In the house, then, do Nancy and Sid get free range of the house?
Yeah, I mean, not when they're covered in mud. No. We've got lucky enough. We don't have carpets downstairs, but again, that was a choice, because if you've got dogs, there's a limit to how many times you want to towel their feet off. So
Yeah.
You know, I think that, you know, so yeah, and then, but they sleep.
And where do they sleep? Do they say?
Yeah,
they sleep on the bed, yeah. I mean, I
they do.
think that's one of the greatest joys of my life, really, is, you know, going to sleep with them, waking up in the night, they're there, and then, of course, waking up first thing in the morning. And you know, it's the sort of security aspect to that. I just feel safer, and I'm not that they're going to protect me from anyone breaking in or anything, but I mean, it's a sort of a personal thing. It sort of completes the, you know, that part of the engagement, and I try to share as much of my life with them as I possibly can. So that's certainly, you know, Nancy sleeps under my arm a bit like this, don't you, Nancy? Yeah.
Oh,
and Sid sleeps,
she's absolutely devoted to you.
She loves giving you kisses.
Yeah, well, it's almost answered our last question that we ask everyone, which is, do you let Sid and Nancy kiss you on the mouth?
Well, we do, and I can tell you another fact about that if you like.
Okay, yes, please.
It looks like Nancy doesn't have a choice.
So, when we cut our finger, what's the first thing we do? We lick it.
Oh, that's true. You'll lick it, won't you? Yeah.
You lick it, and you lick it because there's a bacterial fauna in your saliva which has antiseptic and healing properties. And when in days of old, when they were having medieval battles and doing unspeakable things to one another with swords, there were a lot of wounded people, and they would allow the camp dogs to come and lick their wounds. And that's where the expression comes from, licking your wounds, because obviously they had no antibiotics or any of those sorts of things. And they discovered that if the dog was licking the wound, there would be a greater chance that it would be, less likely to get infected. So they have that component of saliva in a bacteria in their saliva, which is very helpful from that regard. Wolves, just going back to the wolf thing, I've been licked by wolves, been kissed by wolves, and they have even sort of cleaner or bacteriologically richer saliva than dogs, because obviously they don't get any antibiotic treatment. Our sort of pampered pooches these days, I presumably are losing a little bit of that. But and again, the reason they do it, and I suppose I'm sure you know, is that when wolves go back to their den, as we mentioned, that in order to carry the food, which they may have caught many kilometres away, they eat it and swallow it and partially digest it. So when they get back to the den, to stimulate them to regurgitate, the pups lick their lips. And that stimulates the adult wolves to regurgitate the food. Now, obviously, dogs have lost that habit. They don't regurgitate for their young, but that licking is retained into as a puppy and into adulthood in dogs, because it's a greeting. The adult wolves have come back after hunting. We come in at the end of the day, get down on our hands and knees in the kitchen or the lounge, and we're greeting the other part of our pack. So it's retained in dogs as a greeting ceremony, and it's a really important bonding, part of that. So I've always let them lick me, and never suffered anything as a result.
That's absolutely fantastic, Chris. Can I be cheeky before you go? It'd be remiss of me to not ask you whilst you're here. Me and my partner Grace, we need to get our dog, our cockapoo Mildred, to stop barking in the garden in the mornings. Now I know you're not just strictly a dog behaviourist, but do you have any tips that you think might help?
Well, do you know why she's barking?
No, I've got no idea.
So there'll be obviously a reason. I mean, Nancy and Sid have about 10 or 12 different types of bark. And I can generally tell from the type of bark, the tone, the duration, the volume, all of those components as to what that bark means. So I think the first thing to do is listen to the bark in the morning and see if you can equate it to any other barks that you hear where you can ascribe a reason for it. I mean, is she barking because she can hear a neighbour's dog? Is she barking because you've had foxes in your garden? I mean, there's going to be a reason that she does that. And then also you've got obviously the habit. Dogs are creatures of habit. So has she simply got into a habit? I would say. And then, of course, if it's a problem with your neighbours or whatever, then trying to break that, I think, will only come through an understanding of why she's doing it in the first place. And again, like I say, Sid and Nancy living under the microscope, so we know all your little barks, don't we?
Yeah.
We know whether you want to go out, we know when you've smelt a muntjac deer in the garden, don't we? We know that.
That's amazing. I have to say, because I guess I probably won't be the only one who's thinking this. It's never occurred to me to analyse my dogs bark or to watch them so to scrutinize them the way you do. And you obviously get so much out of doing that in terms of your relationship with your dogs. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Chris, I just wanted to mention before we do let you go that the Animal Rising trial, the final one, was yesterday. Yes, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. And also, I've been to MBR Acres and Camp Beagle, so we talked about this quite a lot on the show. Yeah. Just wanted to get your thoughts on all of that.
Well, as you know, earlier in the week, Rose, I'd written a character witness statement for. She was in court. The jury asked for it to be read out a couple of times, and that they divided those people who had got into MBR and rescued the beagle puppies into 3 groups. Both the first 2 groups, including Rose, now have been found not guilty. So there seems to some sense has come into justice. Obviously, these people were on a burglary charge, theft for stealing the dogs from MBR. These were beagle puppies that you will know were being reared for animal testing in the UK in 2026. It's utterly abhorrent. So when I got the WhatsApp from Rose saying not guilty, I mean, I was leaping around my studio. Honestly, I was so overjoyed. And, you know, look, we're a nation of animal lovers. How can we countenance dogs being bred in those horrible facilities for animal testing? And hats off to Animal Rising. I mean, a remarkable, brave, diligent, you know, focused group of very, very kind and lovely people. And you know, fingers crossed. Well, I mean, look, 2 sets down, not guilty. They're going to struggle to find the last batch guilty, and let's hope that we put this matter to bed and we can move towards legislature. Let's not forget that, you know, we elected a Labour government with a manifesto pledge to end animal testing. Well, come on. Here's a great opportunity. Shut this damn place down and let's move on into a better world.
Well said.
There's a petition, isn't there, which everyone can sign?
Yeah. Maybe you could give a link out or something for that, because we
will do. Absolutely,
that'll be on our website, won't it?
Yes. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we've been really looking forward to this one. So yes, thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. Fantastic and lovely to meet Nancy.
Yes.
You two get a room.
Yeah.
Right now. They want another walk. They've already been out once. They want another one now.
Chris Packham. If only he knew a bit more about what he was talking about.
There was one point when he was talking, and I actually live kind of reviewed our own podcast whilst he was talking. I went, "This is brilliant."
I know.
I know, just mind-blowing. He's so amazing.
It really is. It's a bit of a cliche, the fountain of information, but it's just so interesting, isn't it? To put all that fact into it. And what I particularly like is he's science-based. He's not just coming up with theories. He backs it up with facts and figures, and because that's his passion is to approach this scientifically. You know,
exactly.
Even with the dog food thing, he's saying, "Well, we're only 90 days here, but so far, you know," and it's really interesting to hear him talking.
Yes.
Very real. He lives it, doesn't he?
Sure does.
Fantastic.
Well, that was a fascinating episode, I thought, and I think learnt so much. How do you feel about Juniper's eating of the unmentionables now? It's slightly, you know, I feel she's been vindicated, as are all dogs that indulge.
I absolutely felt that. I thought, oh well, that's fine. Thank you, Chris, for that.
She's only doing something. She's only doing something. She was looking. You should try it. It's all right, you know. That's what I'm doing. Well, thank you all for listening to Oh My Dog. We hope that you enjoy getting to know a different side of our guests through their love of dogs.
Yes, and please go and subscribe to us. You can do this on Spotify and YouTube, and also sign up for our newsletter, all of which can be found in one place at omdpod.com. You can email us at hello@omdpod.com and find us on Instagram at omdpod with lots of extra content there.
And don't forget to give us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts as well. And remember, a dog is for life, not just for podcasts.
I was really hoping he was going to give me something a lot quicker for having stopped Mildred barking.
No, you've now got to learn to speak dog language and understand what's going on there. Yeah.
Get on your Duolingo. What's it called? That Duolingo.
Woofalingo.
Yeah. Is there an app that can you do your dog? Is that what it is?
He's probably got one.
I expect so. Yeah. That's the easy money, isn't it? Do an app that translates what your dog's saying. Oh,
It's a great idea.
yeah. What a scam that would be. You can imagine. But he did have a good point. You got to find out what's going on with Mildred. And,
Yes.
you know,
Well,
observe her.
I'll get back to you on that one.
I'm sure. I can't wait to hear what you come up with. I've worked it out. What it is.
She wants more bacon.